Republicans in the U.S. Senate have introduced a proposal to sell millions of acres of federal land in 11 western states, including ours, Colorado.
The proposal is part of President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill. The proposal would require the Bureau of Land Management and the U.S. Forest Service to auction off between 2.2 million and 3.3 million acres of land. Colorado has more than 24 million acres of federal land, which is about 36% of our state's total area. 8.3 million acres of land is managed by the Bureau of Land Management. The Forest Service manages 16 million acres. Your political specialist, Sean Boyd, is here to explain how this sale would work.
So, Sean, does this proposal identify any specific parcels of land? Do we have any idea?
No, the Bureau of Land Management and the Forest Service would determine that. The land could only be used to create housing, so they are specifically looking for land near population centers. Colorado Democratic Congressman Joe Neguse managed to kill a similar proposal in the House. The Senate version is far more expansive, and he says should concern anyone who cares about public lands.
In my view, this is a five-alarm fire for hunters, for ranchers, for fishermen, for recreationists, for conservationists.
Congressman Joe Neguse says the proposal to sell federal lands could put some of the most iconic places in Colorado on the auction block.
We hold these in trust, right, for future generations.
Under the proposal, the Bureau of Land Management and Forest Service would oversee the auctions, publishing a list of parcels for sale every 60 days. They would give priority to land identified by state or local governments. That's near existing development and infrastructure. National parks, monuments, and recreation or wilderness areas would be excluded. Secretary of Interior Doug Burgum says the federal government owns about 640 million acres, and the proposal would leave 99% of the land untouched.
This is not about our most sacred and beautiful places. This is often about, like I said, barren land next to highways with existing billboards that have no recreational value.
Burgum says the public will be allowed to weigh in, but the final decision on which land is privatized will be up to federal agencies. Neguse led a bipartisan effort to kill a similar proposal in the House.
Some of my most kind of meaningful memories, or as a kid growing up in Colorado, camping with my parents and hiking with my dad, and to think that we may not be able to make that same commitment and promise to our children or our children's children if these same lands are ultimately auctioned off, I think it should deeply concern every Coloradan.
Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert supports the proposal, saying it promotes coordination, respects state and local priorities, and reflects a more sustainable approach to land management. The outrage from the far left, she says, is not only unwarranted, it's out of touch with the real challenges facing rural America. Colorado's other Republican members of Congress, Gabe Evans, Jeff Hurd, and Jeff Crank, haven't said where they stand on the Senate proposal. Hurd opposed the House one. All of Colorado's Democratic members of Congress oppose the plan, saying it will also hurt Colorado's $17 billion outdoor recreation industry. The land sales expected to generate between $5 and $10 billion over the next 10 years, with most of that money going to reduce the deficit.
Certainly something a lot of people in our state will be watching, Sean.
Yeah, Senate will be taking it up next week, so I will be watching it closely.
Sounds good. We'll look forward to more updates then. Thank you.